All right, so today we're diving into something really weird happening in the world of AI. It's this massive disconnect, right? On one side, you've got just an insane amount of money flooding into the industry. But on the other, you have the reality on the ground, which is full of real world limits and honestly, a lot of human pushback. So let's break down what's going on here. And it really all kicks off with this one number 80%. Just think about that for a second. That is the shocking percentage of workers who are not using the AI tools their companies are spending millions, sometimes tens of millions of dollars on. Yeah, you heard that right. 4 out of every 5 employees are either actively working around their company's AI systems or, just ignoring them completely. It creates this huge gap between the orders coming from the top saying, use AI, and what people are actually doing in their daily jobs. And this quote really nails it. The data is pretty clear. It's not the people who are the problem. It's not like employees are just anti-tech. Nope. The problem is usually the tools themselves. Workers are saying, hey, we don't have the right training, we don't fully trust what the AI spits out, and frankly, these new tools are just a pain to fit into how we already work. Okay, so that's the human side of things. Now let's flip over to the other side of this disconnect, the money. We're talking about a gold rush level of investment that just keeps getting bigger, even with all these adoption problems we just talked about. Get this. $54.2 million. That's the average amount a single company is spending on AI tools. So let's put two and two together here. Companies are shelling out all this cash, but a huge chunk of it is for software that, you guessed it, 80% of their employees aren't even touching. The money is definitely flowing, but the results? Not so much. And we're not just talking about software licenses here. Oh no, the spending on infrastructure is absolutely mind-blowing. Just look at Meta. They just committed another $21 billion to a cloud provider called CoreWeave. Why? Just for raw AI computing power. That brings their total spending with this one company to over $35 billion. This isn't just a line item on a budget. It's an all-out race to build AI power on a scale we've literally never seen before. In this spending spree, it's so big, it's bigger than just one company. Even a company like Meta. It's so big that the entire financial system, the very rules of the game, are being rewritten to make room for this AI boom. So this is where it gets wild. You've got these giants, SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic, all getting ready to go public. We're talking IPOs that could pull in almost $200 billion combined. And to handle that kind of money, NASDAQ literally changed its rules. What this means is that these massive new stocks will automatically get funneled into major index funds. And here's why that matters to you. It means your own retirement account, your 401k, is probably going to be investing in these companies from day one, whether you know it or not. So we've got this unstoppable financial force, right? All this money, all this momentum. But it's starting to slam into some very real, very physical walls. Let's take a look at what those are. And this perfectly sums up the whole problem. You've got the gold rush on one side, Meta committing another $21 billion, and then the reality check on the other. OpenAI has to pause a huge data center project. And why? Well, the numbers just didn't add up. The cost of electricity was way too high, and there were some legal issues they couldn't figure out. And yeah, energy is the big one. It's the elephant in the room. Right now, data centers eat up about 4% of all electricity in the US. But look at the projection. That's set to double to 8% by 2030. Our power grids, which are pretty old, were just never ever designed to handle that kind of power draw. So what happens when you put that much strain on the system? You get pushback, real pushback. Maine is actually moving ahead with the first ever state ban on large data centers. You're seeing counties and other states hitting the pause button too. And it's not just energy. Overseas, projects are getting stalled because of messy copyright laws. The bottom line is, the physical construction is starting to hit some serious roadblocks. Okay, so it's not just about physical limits like power and land. AI is also crashing right into our human systems, our laws, how we learn, and believe it or not, even global politics. For a while, all the worries about AI being misused felt kind of abstract, like something out of a sci-fi movie. Well, not anymore. The legal system is finally starting to catch up. In the US, there's a brand new federal law, the Take It Down Act, and it does exactly what it says. It makes it a crime to create and share fake, explicit images of people, especially deep fakes made with AI. And this isn't just a law on paper, it already has teeth. An Ohio man used a bunch of different AI tools to create deepfakes of real people,
And he just became the very first person convicted under this new federal law. The potential sentence? Up to 3 years in prison for each victim. That sends a really strong message about how seriously this stuff is being taken now.
So, okay, the legal system is busy dealing with the dark side of AI, but at the same time, developers are pushing to see what good it can do. And that leads to a really interesting question, right? What if AI could be used to build real understanding, not just cause harm? What if it could totally change how we learn? Well, Google's Gemini model is starting to give us a peek at that future. Instead of just reading a wall of text about, say, a molecule, you can now ask Gemini to make an interactive 3D model that you can actually spin around and look at. Or how about a simulation of planets orbiting a star, where you can literally crank up the gravity and see what happens? It takes these huge, complex ideas and makes them something you can actually play with and understand. And AI is popping up in the most random, high-stakes places you can imagine. Get this. During nuclear talks, U.S. Senator JD Vance said that the first proposal from Iran was so generic and, well, bland, that he figured it was probably written by ChatGPT. And he said they just tossed it in the trash. I mean, think about that. We're talking about AI potentially influencing global diplomacy. It's wild.
So, where does that leave us? What's the big picture here? Well, it seems like we have this massive, unstoppable force of AI innovation and money running smack into a bunch of very real, very immovable objects.
And this really is the core conflict, isn't it? On one side, you've got the unstoppable force, trillion-dollar IPOs, billions being spent on infrastructure, AI wading into global finance. And on the other side, the immovable objects, the physical limits of energy, the simple lack of human trust and adoption, and the fact that our legal system moves, well, very, very slowly. And all of this leaves us with the big, central question of the entire AI boom. You've got this incredible momentum from tech and money crashing against the hard limits of our physical world and our human systems. Something's got to give. The only question is, which one is going to break first?